Tickets are on sale. The final Superman trailer just dropped and it changes everything. We're talking kaiju attacks, evil clones, Fortress of Solitude invasions, and yeah, Superman getting knocked into the Arctic bleeding. James Gunn is going all in, and we're breaking down every frame. If you thought you knew what this movie was about, think again. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives like these. And let me know in the comments, did you score those early tickets? Because they dropped yesterday or today, depending on where you're from, and fans are already scrambling. So let's start right at the top of the new footage. The trailer opens with a powerful nod to the John Williams Superman theme, but it's not a direct reuse. It's a remix of that iconic sound built into the film's brand new score. Classic energy, modern touch. You'll hear echoes of that original spirit woven throughout the movie, and then boom, Lex Luthor's voice kicks in. He's already in the Fortress of Solitude, and it sounds like he's narrating Superman's downfall. He literally spits the name Superman like it's a joke. Here's a cool deep cut detail. Lois Lane was the first one to call him Superman. That was in her original article before she even knew Clark's real identity, way before they started dating. But by the time this movie starts, they've already been together for a while. We're basically in year 2 Superman territory. What does the world think? Here's the twist. The world doesn't fully trust him. Superman is still a god walking among men, and James Gunn says the DCU at large is uneasy about that. Earth hasn't totally bought into the idea that he's here to help, but Superman knows his purpose, thanks to recordings left by his parents, Jor-El and Lara, in the fortress. He understands he was sent here to protect Earth, and that's what a big chunk of this movie is about, trying to prove that to the world. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor is doing the exact opposite. He's setting up fights, creating chaos, designing threats, all to prove to the world that Superman is the villain. You hear him say, "Let them die," likely during a scene with his henchmen in a control room, watching destruction unfold, possibly during the kaiju attack, which is massive. Buildings falling, civilians in danger, like that woman in a car watching Superman save her from a collapsing building. And yes, the kaiju, Lex made it. We know this from the toy leaks. He starts with a baby version and grows in, possibly inside what Gunn calls the quantum unfolding space. Think Peacemaker's dad's pocket dimension, but weaponized and opened up into the real world. You literally see it displace reality like a bubble expanding and pushing buildings out of the way. Later, we see Lex, Ms. Tessmacher the engineer, and Ultraman, the Superman clone, arrive at the Fortress of Solitude. It's a clear nod to Superman 2 when Gene Hackman's Lex brought his crew there. And the door opens because Ultraman's DNA matches Superman's. That's how Lex finally gains access. He's likely been working on this for years, ever since Superman showed up. And what better way to bring down Superman than using his own alien tech against him? Here's where things get wild. I think Lex uses a twisted message from Jor-El, like a deepfake, to convince the world that Superman's here to conquer Earth. Total Mysterio in Spider-Man No Way Home vibes. It's all a setup. Social media, manipulation, the works.
Spider-Man's real name is... Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. What the...
We'll likely see Superman lose public trust before a major final boss fight. Heat vision blazing, taking on Lex's flying raptor troops. And hey, there's humor in this too. Lex dragging his girlfriend to an alien fortress like it's a vacation, snapping selfies, and then threatening Superman, "I'll destroy you." There's even a moment where Ultraman slams Superman into the pavement. Looks like a capture scene. That's likely when Lex traps him in the quantum unfolding space, inside one of those twisted alien cells. What's also hilarious is that Lex doesn't know Clark Kent is Superman. You hear him mention that reporter that always interviews you. Meanwhile, Lois is freaking out, telling Clark people are going to figure it out, but Clark's like, "Nah, it's the glasses." And funny enough, science backs that up. It's called observer bias. People see what they expect to see. Nobody expects Clark Kent to be Superman, so their brains ignore the obvious. There's a quiet moment in here too. Clark looking defeated, lying in bed, probably after getting wrecked by Ultraman. That's when I think Pa Kent gives him the pep talk. Mark Kent also tells him, "I cleaned your boots." He gets back up, puts on the cape, and it's go time. And speaking of Ultraman, we get a more revealing shot of him without the mask, and honestly, the transformation is wild. There's definitely an argument to be made that he's evolving into some kind of Bizarro-like figure within James Gunn's DCU. Just look at him, the raw, distorted expression, the intense features. It's like we're witnessing the early stages of something seriously unhinged. This isn't just a villain, this feels like the birth of a twisted alternate Superman. It adds this airy duality to the character, like he's not just a threat to others, but a threat to himself. a warped reflection of what Superman could become without hope. We see more of the quantum space later, bizarre creatures, mysterious figures, one white-skinned figure pushing a floating cart, possibly a white Martian or one of Lex's lab projects. These cells are full of experiments, and yep, Metamorpho is trapped in here too. He's forced to help Lex because Lex has his wife Sapphire Stag in the adjacent cell and has their son baby Joey held hostage. Superman ends up saving baby Joey, carrying him out, even as tendrils are wrapped around his neck. You see Metamorpho helping too. It looks like a full rescue mission. You'll also notice more scenes inside the Meteor Stadium where Superman is suplexing Ultraman. Total wrestling vibes. Maybe he did grow up watching it.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
This is a big contrast to Henry Cavill's Superman, who didn't know how to fight in Man of Steel. James Gunn's version, more rough and tumble. Eventually Lois and Mr. Terrific show up to rescue him. You see Lois piloting Mr. Terrific's T-Sphere ship, fending off Raptor troops in a war-torn country, likely Baravia. The pocket dimension probably opens up there, and Lex uses it as an entry point to our world. And there's a huge moment. Superman bleeding in the snow. He falls into the Arctic, likely after a brutal fight with Ultraman. I mean, who else could make him bleed like that, other than someone with the same power level as him? Krypto takes him back to the fortress, where Kryptonian robots use solar technology to heal him. We've seen quick glimpses of the final fight, Superman unloading on Raptor troops with heat vision, Krypto joining the chaos, and Mr. Terrific yelling, "You brought that dog?" Also, so many Easter eggs, from Big Belly Burger signs to nods to comic creators and classic Superman history, especially in the city background, baseball games, billboards, all of it. Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner also pops up, Green Lantern ring glowing. Seems like they almost throw down, but don't. He's meant to be a bit of a jerk, but ultimately a good guy. We'll see more of him in the Lanterns HBO series. And finally, Superman vs. Ultraman. All-star Superman dialogue, Krypto's chaos, Lois flying ships, Superman suplexing clones, Jimmy Olsen typing articles mid-apocalypse. This movie is stacked. Let me know what you think in the comments. And are you excited for this version of Superman? Do you think Ultraman will survive? And who do you think is getting the last punch? Superman or Krypto? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.